This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got a lot of important news to cover in this video, so it looks like we may be heading for a government shutdown. Republicans are planning to not fund the government unless the vaccine mandates are taken away. When it comes to the debt ceiling, I'll give you the latest update with that. Chuck Schumer said that the Build Back Better bill will have a set date to vote on. I'll give you the timeline and scheduling of what's going on there. I'll give you the latest stimulus check articles like this. Stimulus update: will the Omicron variant necessitate a fourth stimulus check? Also this one: thousands of struggling Americans can apply for $500 stimulus checks before Christmas. Here's how to get yours. And this one: will you be one of millions of people who qualify for a $1,400 stimulus check in 2022? Also, I'll give you the latest update of how Omicron has hit the US. Hope you're having a terrific Thursday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. Looks like Omicron has officially hit the US. One confirmed case yesterday in California. So first, the US Omicron patient was fully vaccinated and has mild COVID symptoms. So what was said here is Governor Gavin Newsom of California had a press briefing yesterday, Wednesday, and said the patient is age 18 to 49 and had not received a booster shot because they were not 6 months out from the original vaccination course. So they were within their second vaccination, fully vaccinated, but yet still caught Omicron. Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. The person has mild symptoms, has not been hospitalized, and is improving. And Dr. Mark Ghaly, California's Health and Human Services Secretary, said that the fact that the patient is fully vaccinated and is improving underscores the importance of immunization. So basically pointing to the fact that the vaccination may not prevent transmission, but helps with the severity of the case. Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. With someone fully vaccinated getting Omicron, is there any way of stopping this? Is it inevitable? Will the vaccinations help? Let me know your thoughts on all that down in the comments below. So here's a map of exactly where Omicron is in the world. So we have the US, we have Canada, Brazil, South Africa, Australia, a bunch of places in Europe. So I would say probably within a matter of a week, probably the whole world is going to get it. Let me know your thoughts on all of that. When it comes to the vaccines and what's happening, so new rulings halt Biden vaccine mandate for federal contractors and health workers. So the vaccine mandate, I think, was supposed to go in effect December 6th, I believe, officially for everybody. But a pair of rulings by separate federal judges Tuesday temporarily halted parts of Biden administration's mandatory COVID-19 vaccine policy for certain workers. So one ruling issued by Louisiana-based federal judge effectively blocked the vaccine mandate for health workers across the country at hospitals that receive federal funding. Second ruling was by Kentucky-based federal judge paused the administration's vaccine mandate for federal contractors in Kentucky, Ohio, and Tennessee. So probably going to see more of this. I'll keep you updated on what happens with that. When it comes to the vaccine mandate and the government shutting down, looks like we may have some type of issue here. Take a look at this video clip right here.
Conservative Republicans are throwing up a last-minute roadblock to the funding of the government, a demand that Democrats defund the president's vaccine mandate. Elon Moy joins us right now with more, and you know, it's always something, Elon.
That's right. There's always a surprise 11th hour turn, Becky, and Congress has less than 48 hours left to find a way to keep the government open. The risk of at least a technical shutdown is rising because any one senator could drag out this process. Now, the two key Republican holdouts are Mike Lee and Roger Marshall, who want to ensure that federal agencies are banned from allocating money to administer or enforce these mandates. They have the backing of the House Freedom Caucus. It's calling on Republican leadership to use all procedural tools to deny timely passage of a continuing resolution, meaning Congress would miss its deadline. But many GOP lawmakers are not on board with this plan. Senator John Cornyn said nobody wins in a shutdown. Senator Mike Braun said it's silly we're even at this point. Instead, he's trying to build support for a vote next week to overturn the vaccine mandates through a process known as the Congressional Review Act. It only needs a simple majority to pass, though the president is all but certain to veto it. Now, still, Republicans may not even need legislative action to strike down these mandates. Several courts have already blocked them, including a requirement that ties vaccinations for healthcare workers to Medicare funding. So, guys, it is unclear at this point when Congress will vote to keep the government open. And, Joe, I got to point out that Republicans and Democrats still have not agreed on how long any stopgap measure should last. Back over to you.
So we're getting really close to a government shutdown. Has to be funded by tomorrow, December 3rd. And now Republicans may have a 1-week government shutdown due to vaccine mandates. I guess we're going to see. We're going to know within 24 hours what's going to happen. Still no stopgap measure released, and for how long. I'll keep you updated with that. Let me get into stimulus check news for you. So, stimulus update. Will the Omicron variant necessitate a fourth stimulus check? So, over the past few months, we've had crazy inflation that wasn't enough to provide general federal fourth stimulus checks. Will the Omicron variant do it? I think if we have a lot of different shutdowns and lockdowns and things like that, that could necessitate fourth stimulus checks. But what are your thoughts on that? Still no general fourth stimulus check. When it comes to the petition for the $2,000 per month to every American, it is at 2,973,000 signatures. And here's some other stimulus check news right here. Thousands of struggling Americans can apply for $500 stimulus checks before Christmas. Here's how to get yours. So a lot of different states and cities are giving out their own stimulus checks, not so much on a federal level yet. So officials in St. Louis, Missouri say applicants for the extra cash can be submitted from December 18th. I went over this yesterday. So St. Louis, Missouri, giving out $500 stimulus checks, and applications can be submitted starting December 18th. So basically, there are a few requirements. You have to be a resident of St. Louis. You have to have 80% or below the median income in your area. So yeah, those are the stimulus checks going on in St. Louis, Missouri. That's the latest state. Then we have eligible Maine residents will receive bonus stimulus payments in the mail through December. So this started to go out back in November, but these are the $285 checks that go to eligible residents through the end of 2021. They're going to be sent out, I guess, throughout the month. This was for people in Maine who worked throughout the pandemic, sort of like a hazard pay program there. Then will you be one of the millions of people who qualify for $1,400 stimulus check in 2022? So basically, you can tell by the picture here, I've spoken about this before, if you've had a baby born in 2021, then you are eligible for the third $1,400 stimulus check for that baby. So that's what that is talking about there. Next, let's get into what's going on with the debt ceiling. We still don't know what's going on with the debt ceiling, and we have the deadline coming up, I believe, December 15th, but they're saying it could be, we don't know what's going to happen after that. Mitch McConnell leaves GOP dark in debt ceiling. Also, right here, debt ceiling talks amid political maneuvering. So basically, it's kind of being used as leverage as well, same as the government shutdown. Here is a video clip explaining the latest of what's going on with the debt limit. You don't want to miss this.
Melissa, December 15th is the deadline that Yellen gave to Congress, and today she testified that she can't guarantee what will happen after that. There's $118 billion that's due to the Highway Trust Fund on that date. And just a few moments ago, the CBO forecast that if Treasury makes that payment, it may run out of money before the end of the month. Now, our own debt limit tracker with the Bipartisan Policy Center shows that Treasury is already in the yellow zone. It has just $269 billion in cash and extraordinary measures left. That's roughly enough to last about 2 weeks or maybe even a little bit less. But remember, this is a dial. It can move backward as revenues come in, and it can move forward as Treasury spends more money. And there are a couple of big bills that are due tomorrow, including $11 billion in veterans benefits and $6 billion each in military and civil service retirement payments. Now, Yellen has called for bipartisan support for raising the debt limit, and Democrats said that Republicans would be foolish not to listen.
Nothing would deserve more disdain from the American public than if we, as the economy is recovering, were to kind of explode the hand grenade of both of these.
Still, guys, both sides said that they are having useful and good discussions on the path forward. Back over to you.
So if they don't raise the debt limit, will payments such as the ones to veterans retirement or to Social Security, will they stop as of a certain date?
It's quite possible, Tyler. Yellen said today that those types of payments could be halted within a matter of days if Treasury does indeed run out of cash. The real question is, when exactly will that happen? And as our tracker showed you, it's a bit of a moving target that depends on how much money is coming in and how much money is leaving Treasury each and every day. There's a possibility that there is some wiggle room after December 15th, particularly if Treasury has the ability to delay that payment to the Highway Trust Fund. But it's unclear if they have that authority. So that's why Yellen said the guarantee is until December 15th. But after that, it's an open question.
Seems like things just keep piling up. There's always something, and one thing piles up onto the next. Got a lot of crazy stuff going on right now. So when it comes to the Build Back Better, a lot of promises being made that it's going to be passed this month, but we've heard that so many times in the past. So what's the latest date and deadline there? So Chuck Schumer, Senate Majority Leader, eyeing Build Back Better vote as soon as the week of December 13th. Now, Build Back Better is probably going to take the back burner to government shutdown and the debt limits. Those are probably probably going to be top priority than the Build Back Better. Also, they have that defense bill that they're trying to go for. So when it comes to December 13th, it may or may not happen. So what it says here, as soon as the necessary technical and procedural work with the Senate parliamentarian has been completed, the Senate will take up this legislation, basically saying that the spending and climate bill to the floor as soon as the week of December 13th. I don't know about that. So look, if we look at this calendar right here, so we're just focusing on December. This is the last month of the congressional calendar. You could see House and Senate in purple are going to be in session until December 10th. So saying it's going to be taken up December 13th, probably going to do the debt limit and government shutdown or government funding for this week here. Which means that if it is December 13th, the House and the Senate are going to have to stay into their winter or their Christmas vacation, which, I don't know, they probably spent a lot of money on their vacations and second vacation homes, so who knows what's going to happen there. So December 13th is the latest date of when they plan on passing it. So this is the second day in a row that I haven't had any Democrats video clips promoting the Build Back Better plan. Here is the Republican perspective right here.
Very good point from North Dakota Senator and Senate Banking Committee member Kevin Kramer. He joins me right now. Senator, it's good to see you. Thanks very much for being here this morning. What was your takeaway from that? You had great questions. She reiterated her claim that this Build Back Better plan is fully paid for. The CBO estimates that it would add $367 billion to the federal deficit over 10 years. And Senator, we had Maya McGinnis on this program who told us that the cost of this plan is actually $4.9 trillion. Not the $1.7 trillion that the Democrats are calling it. Your takeaway from yesterday's testimony?
Well, thank you, Maria. Frankly, I thought Secretary Yellen, she's doing her best to spin this thing. But you're exactly right. Both Penn Wharton, at least both Penn Wharton and the Council for Responsible Government Budget have both analyzed this Build Back Better plan. And remember that the $1.7 trillion cost is based on things like the child tax credit, for example, expiring after 1 year, or the child care tax expiring after 1 year. Well, we all know that's not going to happen, but this is the budget trick that they use. They pass a 1 year bill and pay for it over 10 years, so it looks like it actually balances, or it's actually paid for. So you're right, we're talking about something between $4.5 and $5 trillion over the course of 10 years. And then, of course, that it becomes permanent. I mean, it's not just 10, it's 20, it's generations. It changes, fundamentally changes America, which is what they want to do, which is why we've got to oppose it.
So what happens with this bill? I know that it includes much higher taxes. What's your timing? Schumer and Pelosi want to get another vote in the books by Christmas, certainly December 17th, I'm hearing, is the date that they're talking about. Will they be able to jam it through?
Well, that's up to a couple of key Democratic senators. Obviously, we all know Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema hold a lot of the cards. I don't think either one of them is in a transaction mode, frankly. I think they want a better bill if they're going to vote for it, and thank goodness for that. Any one senator can hold it up. As you know, all 50 Republicans oppose it. So the timeline really depends on at what point do one of them, or do both of them, or all 50 Democrats say, okay, this is good enough now. And to your point about the cost, see, these are the things that every day this thing hangs out there, Maria, it becomes less popular with the American public. It becomes less tolerable for common sense thinking people. As we are now, according to Jay Paul yesterday, going to retire the word transitory. The inflation situation makes it more difficult to do this, because I don't care what anybody says, this is going to add to inflation. You can't put several trillion free dollars out into the market, especially in an already expanding economy, and expect the cost of things to come down. It just doesn't work that way. So I actually think that we're getting closer to a longer pause, and the longer the pause, the less likely it gets done at all, in my view.
Let me ask you about some of these nominations. I want to get to the Richard Cordray idea in a second, but first let's talk about Soleil Omarova. Is it fair to expect that she's not going to get through the Senate in terms of being nominated as the comptroller of the currency position, given the fact that we're not hearing anything about it? Are there votes for her in the Senate right now? This from the woman who said she wants oil and coal companies to go bankrupt, and she also wants the Federal Reserve to federalize our private bank accounts?
And those are only two of dozens of bad ideas that she has promoted to the committee and, of course, in her academic writings over the course of time. There is not a vote scheduled on her. I cannot imagine that they're not going to pull her nomination, and I don't know for the life of me what they're waiting for. Again, the longer her nomination hangs out there, I think the worse the politics is for the left, because, well, this is pure socialism on display without apology, and I just don't believe the American people are ready for that.
What are your thoughts on what Senator Kramer has to say? So that is all the stimulus news I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Bella. This is the tip of the day. So like when you have a headache, 90% of headaches, you need to drink some water, because headaches with water, headaches makes you feel dry and doesn't make you feel good. So water helps you.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. So here are some clips of the kids. We're kind of doing some fun stuff for my wife's birthday week. We did some ice skating, which was really cool. It was my daughter's first time going ice skating, which was amazing. I think I went maybe 15 years ago. I was very rusty. My wife was doing much better than me. She went a couple times in her life, but it was a great family experience, and yeah, we had a good time going ice skating. My daughter Kalea, 3 years old, was screaming the first time she went on the ice. She was like scared. She didn't know what was going on, and then at the end she loved it. But yeah, it was a good time. Anyways, if you want to check out any of my other videos, you could click up here for my other channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.